a pair of sisters was trying to fly home to see their father who was sick. As the delayed flight was on the tarmac, one sister received word that the father wouldn't make it through the night, so she went back to the back of the plane to an empty seat and communicated to her sister what the situation was. She got, visibly distraught, and here's what happened.
These two sisters tonight blame Allegiant Air and a flight attendant for denying them that final goodbye with their father. Their delayed flight heading for the runway when one sister gets a text and walks back to sit across from her sister.
I softly told her that Dad wasn't expected to live through the night.
I just lost it right there. I couldn't breathe.
Baker says she reached over the aisle and the flight attendant questioned her.
I said, I'm trying to console my sister. We just found out my dad's dying. And she said, you need to keep your personal problems off this plane. And she said, I'm doing my job. And I said, well, maybe you're in the wrong job.
That triggered a call to the captain, who returned to the gate, the sisters removed to the disbelief of other passengers.
It was completely inhumane and deplorable that everybody was in shock at what actually happened.
The sisters never made it from Orlando to Asheville before their father passed away.
The flight attendant said that one of the sisters was curt with the flight attendant and became verbal and made a hand gesture with her middle finger in the air at the flight attendant. So that's more information. She
like this?
Yeah,
okay.
like a...
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That was very
Please
curt of you.
Leave your personal problems off of this show. And so I think one of the sad little details is that they were asked to leave the plane, but their luggage did make it to Asheville. The father passed away. It's really sad. I don't think this flight attendant's going to be around for Allegiant Air. What do you think?
I fly almost every weekend, and I have to say that since 9/11, and I won't say all flight attendants because I've flown with some pretty good flight attendants, but there's just this attitude right now. I've had several friends who've been kicked off of airplanes because if they say that in any way they feel threatened, they have the power to kick you off the plane now. And I think that some of it is out of control. Like I videotaped flight attendants being rude. I had a kidney infection and I was trying to go to the bathroom, and the flight attendant, I said, listen, I gotta go to the bathroom. 3 guys had already gone without saying anything, and she said, you don't have to get volatile with me. I said, I'm just going to pee. Like, I'm not trying to be volatile, but I don't want to pee on myself, and I got to go because I'm sick. And it was, the lady sitting next to me, this older white lady said to her, it isn't necessary for you to take this tone with her. She's sick and she's asked you twice to go to the bathroom. Why is it that you use the word volatile? I think that's really unfair of you to do. If that lady wouldn't have been sitting there, I could have very well been in a situation that could have become combative and been thrown off the airplane for just needing to use the bathroom.
I lie about being pregnant on almost every flight. I'm not kidding. Don't care. By the way, I don't do that to cut the line, but look, sometimes like the seatbelt fasten sign is on and there's no turbulence and it's on for like an hour or 2 hours straight and you're just like, I'm gonna pee in my pants, so I'm pregnant. I gotta go to the bathroom. But anyway, that's like a huge tangent. I don't know why we got there.
That's amazing. Yeah. Typically, yeah. What would happen in this situation?
I stick my belly out a little bit too.
What belly? Boys don't know what to say in those
totally,
situations.
You can bloat it. I'll show you guys later.
My Egyptian friend, they landed the airplane and made her get off in Texas.
What?
Because the flight attendant said she felt threatened by her. And she was like, why are you threatened by me? Because I'm Egyptian? Because I don't know how to fight. And I'm telling you, it's like, I did a blog about it. I took video of this flight attendant that was just out of control.
But also, their lives have to be incredibly stressful because they're dealing with, let's assume that hopefully 60% of the passengers are totally fine, but then there probably are 40% that are total dickheads to them and that are actually rude. And so they're on edge. And I think after a certain point, I'm just imagining if I were a flight attendant, it'd be really hard for me to give someone the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure that there are tons of flight attendants who are like, oh, sure, you're pregnant, really? All right. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure that there are flight attendants that, are doing this and they're exhausted and they don't know, maybe they've gone through multiple delays on that work day.
No, it's like the worst job ever.
I understand that
can't
I went
imagine,
through
but still, have some empathy. You have
in
two
this
adult
case.
women
Right, that's the
in
thing.
tears because their father is about to die. That video tore me apart because I thought of myself in their shoes and knowing that I'm not going to be able to say bye to my father before he passes because a flight attendant decided to just have zero empathy for me whatsoever and couldn't handle the fact that I was distraught over my father passing away. I can't even imagine what that must have felt like for them.
There was the one factor of this that allows them to do it. Again, I think, Aida, as you said, they were told if you feel threatened, you can do whatever you want. You can determine whether or not they're a threat to you or that they're volatile. So once you're given that authority, you will use it. When you can be in the bad mood, you can have no sleep, you can be tired and just don't like that person's face, you have new authority. And maybe a similar analogy is, say you work in a restaurant and you're a waitress, you deal with assholes. And you have to continue to be nice so you're not getting that tip, or your boss is going to say, oh, you can't work here anymore. You don't have authority. If your boss said, hey, if anybody's an asshole, you can say, get out of this restaurant. If you give that, you have a lot more waiters and waitresses to go, get the fuck out of this restaurant.
Yes.
I don't like your look on your face.
We have the right to refuse service.
And I am in no way trying to undermine, the responsibility that they have, because there is an added pressure, especially with what's going on now. So I'm a very respectful person. I don't walk around trying to intimidate. I'm tall, I'm brown, and I already know that I have to lean back and I gotta be extra nice, and I can't go around making people feel threatened even if I don't want to. That's my reality. But some of these bitches are out of control. And I mean the men too. I'm not being sexist. I think I was on a plane with 3 white men got up and said, fuck that, I gotta pee. They went to the bathroom, they disregarded the seatbelt light. They didn't even say a word.
No one asked them if they were pregnant.
No,
not even
they
once.
don't even have to say that they're pregnant. They could just go. But then I was like, I gotta go. And she was like, why are you being so volatile?
There are a lot of flight attendants who, by the nature of the industry for the major carriers, have been doing this for 1,000 years. Yeah. They got in the union back in the day. Go Google weird Southwest flight attendant ads where they're like, you know what life was like before Southwest Airlines? You didn't have hostesses in hot pants. And it's like a 1970 thing. And it's like, yeah, in that era of, oh my gosh, this is a deluxe hotel in the sky. And they've been doing it for a long time. Now, you hate to travel. You hate it. It's the worst. And you do it as rarely as you possibly can. Now, imagine you're someone who has to do that, 14 days a month, because that's about what they have to do, depending on their union contract. Not only that, but you're around all the people who fucking hate to travel. And where else do you work where 20% of the people around you are certain they're about to die? You're in a plane. A lot of people forget how to be humans when they travel.
Yes.
Understood. We got to get there 15 hours ahead of time. Oh, my mind is boggled that they have to at some point say, you can't get on this flight. All that said.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people get thrown off flights on planes, and I'm like, I know why you got thrown off that plane, because you were an asshole. Yeah. And that person's like, I don't have to put up with this because I put up with this all day. That said, their dad's dying.
Yeah, I think
man.
For me, the question of the story came, should flight attendants have the power to refuse to transport? And there's 127 stipulations in the Allegiant Air contract of carriage. And one of them is we can refuse to transport whoever we want to. Should they have that power? Yes. Have we seen some rampant abuses of that power recently? Absolutely. But I don't think that if we take it away from them, it's going to lead to compassion and more empathy, especially within flying. And Brett, I want to have that as my ringtone when I'm flying, of you being you saying, look, can you imagine 14 days out of the month? Because that would put everything really into perspective for me, because I think I sometimes have forgotten to be a human when I travel.
You get some airlines, you can be traveling for 6 days in a row, multiple flights a day. It sucks.
Become a TYT member and get all of our shows, including the ones only members see: Old School, Aggressive Progressive, our post games, TYT Classics, and you even get the interviews before anyone else does. TYTnetwork.com/join.